BB 29, married to Melissa for 3 years. She's pretty cool, we get along great, decent relationship. Both work full-time, have a nice little house in the suburbs. Typical boring normie life, but honestly, I'm happy with it. Melissa has this friend named Vanessa. Vanessa is the definition of suburban housewife perfection. Married to some Wall Street type named Chad. I swear that's his actual name. Always dressed like she's about to do a photo shoot for Better Homes and Gardens. Bakes cookies for school fundraisers. Volunteers at animal shelters. Posts Instagram pictures of perfect home-cooked meals. Has 2 golden retriever puppies named Sunshine and Rainbow. Basically the kind of woman that makes other wives feel inadequate. Melissa and Vanessa have been friends since college. Vanessa is always super nice to me, but something about her seems off. Can't quite put my finger on it, but my BS detector pings whenever she's around. One night, Melissa has to go out of town for work conference. Tells me Vanessa might stop by to drop off some recipes or something. Whatever. I'm just planning to play Elden Ring all weekend and eat microwave burritos. Friday night, I'm in peak gamer mode. Unwashed, unshaved, Mountain Dew and Doritos within arm's reach. Doorbell rings around 8 p.m. It's Vanessa, looking like she just stepped out of a Ralph Lauren ad. Perfect makeup, hair in a bun, white sundress. She has a casserole dish and a bottle of wine. Thought you might want some real food while Melissa's away. Thanks, I guess. Invite her in because that's what a non-psycho would do. She sets up the food and pours us both wine. Sits down on the couch, way closer to me than necessary. Starts asking about my job, hobbies, etc. Making way more eye contact than comfortable. Already feeling weird about this. Suddenly asks if she can tell me something in confidence. Oh God, please don't hit on me. That's the last thing I need. Sure, what's up? She takes a deep breath. I don't know why, but I feel like I can trust you. There's something I've never told anyone, not even Melissa. Internally screaming. I'm actually an ex-con. I served 4 years in federal prison. Spitik Jif. Excuse me, what? Turns out Miss Perfect Suburban Housewife did time for securities fraud. Worked at an investment firm before getting married. Got caught up in some insider trading scheme. Served 4 years at a minimum security prison. Got out 6 years ago. Completely reinvented herself. Met Chad at a charity function. He has no idea about her past. None of her current friends know, not even Melissa. I'm literally the first person she's told, sitting there in shock while this bombshell of information detonates in my living room. Why are you telling me this? She looks down at her wine glass. Sometimes I feel like I'm suffocating under this perfect life I've built. It's exhausting being Vanessa, the flawless wife, all the time. And I saw how you looked at me the few times we've met. You seemed suspicious, like you could tell something was off. Damn, didn't realize my poker face was that bad. She continues unloading this crazy life story about how she learned to bake from a 65-year-old cellmate doing time for Medicare fraud. How her perfectly curated social media is all to maintain her cover. How she constantly lives in fear of someone from her past recognizing her. By this point, we're on our second bottle of wine. I'm completely fascinated by prison Vanessa versus Pinterest Vanessa. So does Chad really not know anything? No, and he can never find out. His family is super conservative and connected. They'd destroy me. She shows me pictures of her prison softball team on an old phone she keeps hidden. Tells me stories about prison drama that sound like a Netflix series. Before I know it, it's 2 a.m. We've killed 2 bottles of wine and demolished her casserole. Vanessa looks at her watch and sobers up real quick. I should go. Chad thinks I'm at my sister's. As she's gathering her things, she stops. Please don't tell Melissa. I'll tell her myself someday, but I'm not ready. Promise not to say anything. She leaves, and I'm sitting there like I just watched the most intense movie of my life. Next day, Melissa calls to check in. Did Vanessa stop by with those recipes? Yeah, she dropped off a casserole. That's nice. She's always so thoughtful. If you only knew, honey. Next few weeks are bizarre. See Vanessa at social gatherings with our friend group, watching her play the role of perfect wife, dropping subtle prison slang just to see if I notice. One time at a dinner party, she refers to the bathroom as the yard. Another time calls appetizers commissary snacks. I nearly choke on my drink each time. We have this weird secret understanding now. Occasionally she'll text me articles about white-collar crime with comments like amateur hour or rookie mistake. One time she helps Melissa and me move some furniture, lifts a heavy bookcase like it's nothing. Prison yard workouts are no joke. Whispers when Melissa isn't looking. Few months go by like this. Start to wonder if I'm enabling her double life. One night at a neighborhood BBQ, Chad gets drunk, starts bragging about his family connections, how his dad got him his finance job, How he's never had to struggle for anything. Vanessa catches my eye across the yard. Subtle eye roll that speaks volumes. Later that night, Chad passes out in a deck chair. Vanessa and I end up talking by the fire pit. You ever think about telling him? She looks into the fire. Sometimes, but then he says stuff like he did tonight, and I realize he could never understand my life. Doesn't it eat at you, though, living this lie? Of course it does. But it's not just a lie. I really am this person now, too. Deep conversation about identity and redemption. Who knew I'd be having existential talks with my wife's felon friend at 1 a.m.? Next week, Melissa mentions Vanessa's acting weird. She's been distant lately. I think something's going on with her and Chad. Try to play dumb. What makes you say that? Just a feeling. She's canceling plans, seems distracted. Start to worry Vanessa's going to crack under pressure. A few days later, get a text from her. Need to talk. Meet at the coffee shop on Elm. Find her there, looking stressed. No perfect makeup, hair in messy ponytail. Almost don't recognize her. I'm thinking of telling Chad everything. Ask what brought this on. I found out he's been lying too. He's in serious debt. Gambling. Apparently Perfect Chad has been hitting underground poker games. Dropped over $200K in the last year. They're on the verge of losing their house. I could help him if he knew what I know about financial systems. The legal way. But he won't let me near their finances because he thinks I'm just a dumb trophy wife. Irony so thick you could cut it with a knife. What are you going to do? I don't know. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Actually feel bad for her. Suggest maybe talking to Melissa first. Having someone else in her corner might help. She considers it, nods. Next day, Melissa comes home from lunch with Vanessa. Looks like she's seen a ghost. Vanessa just told me the craziest thing. Here we go. Melissa flops down on the couch. She used to be in prison. Can you believe it? Acts surprised. What? No way. Melissa proceeds to tell me everything I already know, watching her process this revelation about her friend. And apparently Chad's got gambling problems. They might lose everything. How do you feel about all this? Melissa thinks for a moment. Honestly, I kind of respect her more now. Wasn't expecting that. She built this whole new life from nothing. That takes guts. My wife continues to surprise me. Week later, the real bomb drops, a group text from Vanessa to both Melissa and me. Told Chad everything. He didn't take it well. Staying at a hotel. Could use friends right now. Melissa and I go to meet her, find Vanessa in hotel lobby, looking surprisingly calm. Over dinner, she tells us what happened. Chad completely lost it, called her a liar, a criminal, damaged goods, said his family would be humiliated, threatened to tell everyone her secret. Vanessa just calmly laid out all the evidence of his gambling addiction in response. The look on his face when he realized I knew everything. Priceless. She seems almost relieved despite everything falling apart. What now? Melissa asks. Vanessa takes a sip of water. Now I stop pretending. If people find out, they find out. I did my time. Fast forward 3 months. Vanessa and Chad are getting divorced. She started her own financial consulting business, specializing in helping people recover from debt. Tagline: been there, done that, got the prison jumpsuit. Dark humor, but it's working for her. Most of their social circle ditched her when the truth came out. But she seems happier than I've ever seen her. Comes over for dinner regularly. Tells prison stories that leave us crying with laughter. Last week, she brought her new boyfriend to a barbecue. Former prosecutor who handled cases similar to hers. They met at a white-collar crime conference where she was a speaker. Wild how life works out. Still can't believe Pinterest's perfect Vanessa was the most interesting person I've met. Sometimes the people with the darkest secrets have the most to teach. Melissa agrees. It's been eye-opening. Remind me to never judge someone's Instagram feed again. Vanessa's teaching Melissa how to make prison wine in our bathtub. Not sure how I feel about that, but hey, at least family gatherings will never be boring again. Beamy in her 28, finally getting married to the love of my life, Caitlin. Been together for 3 years, met her at my buddy Derek's BBQ, where she roasted the hell out of me for wearing socks with sandals. Fell in love instantly when she called me a fashion terrorist. Wedding day finally arrives after months of planning. Rented this fancy vineyard that cost more than my car. Everything is perfect. Sunshine, flowers, all that romantic crap. Standing at the altar, sweating my ass off in my rented tux. Can see my buddies snickering because they know I'm nervous as hell. Music starts playing. Guests all stand up in turn. Caitlin appears at the end of the aisle looking like an actual goddess. My heart is doing gymnastics in my chest as she starts walking. Notice some commotion at the back. Think it's just a late guest. Suddenly hear a familiar voice shouting, "Stop the wedding!" Oh no. Oh God, no. It's Mackenzie, my ex from 5 years ago, the one who dumped me for lacking ambition because I played too much World of Warcraft. Haven't seen or spoken to her since the breakup. She's standing there in jeans and a t-shirt, looking like she just ran a marathon. Everyone is frozen. Caitlin stops halfway down the aisle. Mackenzie starts walking straight down the center, pushing past confused guests. My best man whispers, "What the actual hell, dude?" Have no answer for him. Mackenzie reaches the front. She's crying, mascara running down her face like she's in some dramatic soap opera. "Marcus, I can't let you do this." The pastor looks at me like, "You gonna handle this or what?" Find my voice finally. "Mackenzie, what are you doing here?" "I have to tell you something important." Guests are murmuring. Caitlin's dad looks like he's about to commit a murder. Mackenzie takes a deep breath. "I'm pregnant." Collective gasp from the audience. Feel like I'm gonna pass out. "And it's yours." Now I know I'm gonna pass out. Caitlin drops her bouquet. "What the hell is she talking about, Marcus?" Here's the kicker. Haven't seen Mackenzie in 5 years. Unless she's been pregnant for 60 months, this is complete bullshit. Find my spine and stand up straight. "Mackenzie, that's impossible, and you know it." She wipes tears dramatically. "Remember Jake's New Year's party?" "What? That was 5 years ago before you dumped me." "No, the one this past January. What is she talking about?" "I was at Jake's New Year's party, got absolutely hammered on tequila, woke up on his bathroom floor, barely remember anything." "Oh shit. Face must show my panic because Caitlin is now staring daggers at me." "You were there?" "I don't remember seeing you." Mackenzie smirks through her tears. "Obviously, you were so wasted you couldn't even recognize me." My best man Derek suddenly steps forward. "That's bull. I was with Marcus the whole night." Thank God for Derek. Mackenzie turns to him. "No, you weren't. You were making out with that redhead from accounting." Derek goes quiet. Traitor. Caitlin is now fully crying. Guests don't know whether to leave or grab popcorn. My future mother-in-law has already pulled out her phone, probably canceling the catering. Suddenly Jake himself stands up from the third row. "I gotta say something." Everyone turns to him. "Mackenzie wasn't at my New Year's party." A few seconds of silence. Mackenzie's face drops. "Yes, I was. I was wearing a blue dress." Jake shakes his head. "No, you weren't. I have security cameras at my place now because of the incident with the garden gnomes last summer." "Don't ask about the gnomes." Long story, Jake continues. "I checked the footage the next day to see who puked in my fish tank." Also don't ask about the fish tank. Another long story. "You definitely weren't there, Mackenzie." Mackenzie's face goes from sad to angry. "You're lying. I was there." Jake pulls out his phone. "I still have the footage. Want to see?" Mackenzie suddenly looks nervous. Pastor clears his throat. "Perhaps we should take this discussion elsewhere and proceed with the ceremony later?" Mackenzie ignores him, points at me. "Fine. I wasn't at the party, but we did hook up 3 months ago." Caitlin looks at me. I shake my head. 3 months ago I was in Denver at that coding conference, remember?" Caitlin nods slowly. She came with me. We made it a mini vacation. Mackenzie is scrambling now. "I meant 4 months ago." My cousin Tyler stands up. 4 months ago he was at my bachelor party in Vegas." Mackenzie is turning red. 5 months ago then," my buddy Chris yells from the back. "He was helping me move my grandma to the nursing home and threw his back out, remember?" By now everyone realizes what's happening. Mackenzie never expected to be fact-checked by my entire social circle. Caitlin's shock is turning to confusion. She walks the rest of the way up to the altar, stands beside me. "Mackenzie, what's this really about?" Mackenzie finally breaks. "Fine, I'm not pregnant, but he shouldn't marry you." The plot thickens. "Why not?" Caitlin asks calmly. Mackenzie looks around dramatically. "Because he likes getting pegged." Another collective gasp. My dad nearly falls out of his chair. Grandma leans over to ask what pegging is. Nobody wants to explain. Caitlin just looks at me with raised eyebrows. I shrug. "And?" Mackenzie's jaw drops. Now it's her turn to be shocked. Caitlin smirks. "That's not exactly breaking news, honey." Someone in the back yells, "We know!" Pretty sure it was my college roommate. Betrayed twice in one day. Mackenzie gestures wildly. "Because I made a huge mistake. I should have never broken up with him." Oh, for Christ's sake. 5 years later and now she decides this? I saw the engagement announcement in the local paper and realized what I lost. Caitlin looks at me, then back at Mackenzie. "So you thought crashing our wedding was the answer?" Mackenzie nods like this makes perfect sense. "It works in the movies." One of Caitlin's bridesmaids snorts so loud it echoes. Caitlin takes a deep breath, steps toward Mackenzie, Thought she might slap her. Instead, she says, "Mackenzie, I'm sorry you're going through whatever this is." Mackenzie looks confused. Not the response she expected. Caitlin continues, "But this is our day, and you're not part of it." Turns to her brother in the front row. "Jason, would you please escort this woman out?" Jason, who's built like a linebacker, stands up. Mackenzie backs away. "This isn't over. Marcus, we belong together." As Jason approaches, she turns and runs back down the aisle, crashes into the wedding cake in the back. Classic. Stunned silence for about 3 seconds. Then everyone starts talking at once. Caitlin looks at me. I'm sure my face is the definition of shocked Pikachu. "Did you know she would do this?" "Absolutely not. Haven't spoken to her since we broke up." Caitlin studies my face. Must have seen the truth because she nods, turns to the pastor. "Can we continue?" "Bless this woman." Pastor adjusts his collar. "Certainly, though this is a first for me." Ceremony continues. Exchange vows. Hands shaking so bad can barely get the ring on. Finally married. At the reception, Mackenzie becomes the main topic. Turns out she's been stalking my social media for years. My buddy Chris reveals she texted him last week, asking about the wedding details. He thought she was on the guest list. Idiot. We cut the destroyed cake anyway. Caitlin smashes a piece in my face. Whispers, "Still better than eloping, right?" Later that night in our hotel room, Caitlin can't stop laughing. "Your face when she said she was pregnant. Not funny. I nearly had a heart attack." She kisses me. "At least we'll have a wedding story nobody can top." Truth. Next morning we're eating breakfast. Caitlin, scrolling through her phone, suddenly spits out her coffee. "You're not going to believe this." Shows me her screen. Mackenzie has posted on Instagram, picture of her with a guy who looks exactly like me. Caption reads, "Upgrade from the original." We both lose it, laughing so hard the waiter comes to check on us. 3 days into our honeymoon, get a text from Derek. Mackenzie apparently tried to crash Jake's house party, claiming to be my cousin. Jake's new security system earned its keep that day, 6 months later at Thanksgiving, telling the wedding story to some relatives who couldn't make it. Phone buzzes with a notification. Mackenzie has unblocked me on Facebook, sent a friend request. Caitlin reads it over my shoulder. Should I be worried? Show her Mackenzie's profile picture, now has dyed her hair the exact same color as Caitlin's. Caitlin almost chokes on her wine. That's not creepy at all. We block Mackenzie on every platform, change our phone numbers just to be safe. 1 year anniversary rolls around. Caitlin gives me a photo album of our wedding. Final page has the photo of Mackenzie covered in wedding cake. Caption, "Best wedding crasher ever." Wouldn't trade my crazy wedding story for anything, except maybe a normal ex who doesn't need a restraining order.